Hi, I'm Will Robinson with Dan Weber here for USCFootball.com at Howard Jones Field, day 13 of spring practice, and a windy day. Dan, how did the offense have to react in the wind?
Well, the question wasn't one that Lane Kiffin accepted. He said, "Don't really understand the." Someone paired up the question of windy conditions and the Sun Bowl, and Lane said, "Actually, I don't even understand the last couple of words you just said there, the Sun Bowl thing." He said, "We've kind of had a session with hypnosis where when people say that, our kids don't even remember anything." So he said, "I thought they handled the windy conditions pretty well today." So Lane kind of turned it into a little joke, and what else can you do? It was a good job.
And not only was it windy today, they went into half pads, so it wasn't nearly as physical as we've seen in the past couple weeks.
Well, Lane, basically Lane says, when you're doing that, you don't have knee pads. But he said they do with the way they do it now. They wear thigh pads. They do have their shoulder pads and helmets. So he said, they weren't discouraging them from hitting. They just didn't want anybody on the ground. So they did a lot of hitting. And they did a lot of tackling, actually. Lamar Dawson's goal line tackle on Justin Davis was as big a hit as we've had, the whole spring. So they weren't discouraging him from hitting. They just didn't want anybody to get twisted down to the ground, maybe, hurt a knee or an ankle or something like that. So kind of that was the theory here today.
We did see a lot of hitting at the goal line. That was the main emphasis of the day. What did you, in the goal line set, what did you see? How did the offense look? Lane said the offensive line did really well today.
They did, and I think the defense had a little bit of an edge at the beginning, and then I think the offensive line came back, got some good seams for Justin Davis and for Buck Allen. But Cody Temple goes in on that. They basically 5 defensive tackles in the goal line, where you got George Yuko and Cody Temple and Antoine Woods, J.R. Tavai, and Leonard Williams. So they're going with 5 defensive tackles across, and so that gives them and I think that was a little difficult, at the beginning for the offensive line to handle, but they they kind of fought back, and after about 3 or 4 plays, then they got the ball in. But it was kind of fun and as Cody Temple, loves it. He's in there now in the mix, and he said, "That's big man football. I love it."
And then some news on the injury front. Safety Demetrius Wright is opting to not receive surgery. Dan, what was the thought process behind that?
Well, he said that, kind of the 2 opinions were, I think the UCLA surgeon thought maybe he should have it's a torn labrum in his hip. The USC people, I think, are thinking that by, rehabbing it and taking really good care of it, that he might be better off. I think Demetrius felt like it would be such a setback if he had surgery and he was out for all those months that next year would really be in doubt. And so he did take off, he basically took a week off and came back today, and he felt just great. I mean, he looked good. He was out there with the first team, and I think he feels like he made the right decision. That decision is, the surgery just, it's one of those ones where, you got one doctor telling you surgery and another saying, we don't think you really need surgery. And he went with, I'm going to rehab it, I'm going to take care of it, and I'm going to play next year.
And Wright's presence really is a big question mark in the secondary. As we all know, the secondary's had a lot of injuries this year. No TJ, no Nikhil, no Jawanza. So what do you think his presence being in the fold for this 2013 season, what does that do for the secondary?
Well, especially at the safety spot where you've really, you've lost, not only TJ and Jawanza, but you've lost Drew McAllister, but then you've lost Sua Cravens and Gerald Bowman. You've got a lot of people that just aren't there now. For Demetrius to come back, he said, for example, on the defense, he said, "I'm completely up to speed on the defense. I feel really good that I've got it down completely." And it's important for him to be out there because they're like a Rob Dooley, redshirt freshman walk-on from Chicago Loyola, is out there playing safety on some of the first team situations. So it's great to have Demetrius out there.
Great, thanks, Dan. On behalf of Dan Weber, I'm Will Robinson. Log on to USC Football for more information.